Hi. Today, instead of watching one video and then trying some problems, watching another video, trying some problems, I'm going to try and save you time by showing you about 7 to 10 examples all at once and then let you work your problem set for the day. Today's assignment is 2.3. Please bear with me, be patient. I haven't used this pen before, so it's going to be fun and messy. So 2.3, today's date, or the date that I want you to turn this assignment in on, is going to be Friday, which will be September 4th. Friday, September 4th. Section 1 for Friday, September 4th assignment is to watch this video and copy down the examples. The first example that you're going to copy down, so this is example number 1, it helps you when you do section number 2 on your assignment called Finding the Slope from Points. The question in Delta Math is going to say, what is the slope of a line that passes through the points? And it's going to give you an X and a Y and another point, X and Y. It last year and in Algebra 1, you were supposed to be introduced to this formula called the slope formula. To find the slope, we need to do the y2 number minus the y1 number, and then the x2 number minus the x1 number. And after that, we need to simplify your fraction or write it in simplest form. So they put x1, y1, x2, y2, and you can take the first one and put it under here, the second one and put it under here. And technically, if you wrote -11, -2 under this one, and -7, -4 under this one, you are going to get the same answer. All right, to find the slope, another symbol for math that they use for finding the slope is m. You're going to make what I call a subtraction fraction. 2 subtraction signs, one on top, one on bottom, and a big fraction bar in the middle. So I'm doing that piece right there, this fraction bar, and that piece right there. Then I'm going to take the y values, and in that problem they wrote the y values in blue, and place them in the problem. Now technically y2 is the number -2. Subtraction sign, and then y1 is a negative number. So be careful, please, because subtract a negative number changes this to plus when we do the math. Now, the x2 number, subtract the x1 number, goes on the bottom, and they'll say the y values are subtracted on the top, the x values are subtracted for the denominator. This is also considered rise over run. All right, doing the arithmetic on this kind of problem, I'm hoping that you practice in your head and check on the calculator. This is really -2 plus 4. -2 plus 4 results in a 2. This is really -11 plus 7, which results in -4. If you type this answer in, it is not wrong, but it is not in simplest form. So you need to reduce, and reducing is another way of saying divide by the same factor on top and bottom. So divide that by 2 to get 1. Divide this by 2 to get -2. When you type it into Delta Math, the negative usually appears in the front. You can put the negative sign on the top, on the bottom, or in the front of the fraction, but you cannot put it on top and on bottom. There is only one negative sign. I like to put it in front. The steps can be listed as plug your numbers into the formula, and then, let's see if I can get that tool. The negative of a negative is a positive. As I said, subtract a -7 is plus, subtract a -4 is plus. Add or subtract the numbers to get the 2, add or subtract the numbers to get that. And then the last step is to simplify. A positive divided by a negative number is a negative number, and reduced by the common factor of 2. All right. I decided to pick out 2 of these because in section 3 that you do today, it's going to be called line equations from point slope. If you watch the tutorial that they provide in Delta Math, they do this differently than what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the easy way. And that is to use what we call the point slope formula. Y minus y is equal to m times x minus x. And literally, this is the x, this is the y, and this is the slope or the m value to insert. Then what you're remembering is you leave that one a variable, insert a number in this box, put your equal sign, insert a number in this box, literally the slope number, parenthesis, x, minus sign, insert a number in this green box. Sorry about that. So it will look like this. Y, subtract, and then this is not the y value. This is not the y value. -7 is the y value. Remember, if it subtract a negative, that we will end up writing a positive. I'm not sure why that happens. Put your slope number here, -3/2, parentheses, x, subtraction sign is important, and then our x number is a regular 6, so regular 6 there. Delta Math will accept this answer as long as you know that a subtract negative needs to be changed to a positive. Now I'm going to move that other problem down and show you another thing you could do. But if you want to save yourself some time, you can type that answer in and Delta Math knows and accepts it for full credit. Let's see if I can move this one down. It is good to refresh your memory on some of those skills that we were supposed to learn in Algebra 1. Let me see if I can get rid of that box. No, put it back. Okay, we're going to try to ignore that box best we can. All right, oh, there it went. Okay, so in Algebra 1, we also maybe had you do what's called the distributive property. Multiply that times x, so -3 halves x, and then multiply -3 halves times -6. Think ahead. Negative times a negative is a positive. And I like to do the numbers. 3 times 6 would make 18. Divide by 2 to know what goes here. And then get y by itself by subtracting 7 on both sides and rewrite so that y is by itself. This is now in slope intercept form, which makes it really nice if you do have to graph it. Okay, Delta Math will accept this answer, but you don't have to work that hard because it will also give you full credit or accept this answer. So save yourself some time. Write that one. Okay, I found a very unique problem in Delta Math, and I was worried that I didn't want you to get hung up on what if the slope is 0, and you try this method, which is inserting the numbers into the point slope form. If you know the point and you know the slope, you could enter them into the correct spots. The 3 given values have to go in the right spots. So y subtract, not the slope number, not the x number, -8 equal, slope number goes here, so that's a 0. Get rid of that again. And then parentheses, x subtract, the x number is always in front of the parentheses, sorry, in front of the comma. So when you fix this one up, you have to subtract negative to positive, so y plus 8 here, and then 0 times this is 0. So I'm not positive if Delta Math takes this for the answer, but I know that if you subtract 8 off both sides, if you write y equals -8 for your final answer, if that happens to you where they give you a problem where the slope is 0. Now, if you want to remember, just memorize, every time the slope is 0, the formula is going to be y equal that number. So there's another shortcut for you if you need it. All right. Section 4 for your homework is going to be titled Evaluate Functions from a Graph. Find the value of the function where the x value is -6. So we're trying to refresh your memory of how to read function notation. When the function is -6 or the x value is -6, they want you to go to the origin, travel either left or right this amount. So -6 means travel to the left 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then find how high up or how low down the graph is. So I have to go travel 1, 2, 3 down to get to the graph. So you're looking for the answer -3, or how far below the origin am I when the x value is -6. So travel to wherever that is, travel to the graph, and tell me how high up or how low down, how far above or below the x-axis is it. So the answer to this question would be -3. I'm going to use that same graph, but this time I'm going to ask to find, let's do f of -3. Is that a nice one? Yeah, it's okay. F of -3. All right. If that were my question, that would mean the x value -3 matches up with what y value? 1, 2, 3 to the left matches up with what y value, or where is my graph located? So I'm going to travel, sorry about that, I don't like that box. Travel up until I get to the graph, which is right here. And you have to tell me how far up did I have to go. So if you travel this way, there's your number. F of -3 is the number 6. All right, section number 5 for tonight's assignment has problems like this. If I give you a function defined as -x minus 3, solve for x if you're told g of x is 6. That's a really fancy language for telling you they want you to put 6 where you see the g of x. Where you see g of x, put 6. Where I see g of x, put 6. So then I'm going to write the rest of this. They're telling you the output is 6. And then I'm going to refresh your memory really quick. You have to get the x value. You have to solve for x. So to solve for x, we add 3 to both sides. Be careful right here. This is -x. So you have one more step. When there's a -x, there's really a -1 times x. So we have to do this. Dividing both sides by -1 gives us our final answer that you would type into the Delta Math program. Now, -1 divided by -1 is positive, or your answer, x, is -9. Okay, one more time. If the function is defined as 5x minus 3, figure out what x is if they're telling you what the function or y value is, this time 7. They just want you to put the 7 where you see f of x. Where I see f of x, I'm going to put the 7, and then it becomes something called a two-step equation. To figure out what x is, We solve by doing inverse operations. They subtract, we add. They're multiplying the x by 5, we divide by 5. Answer 2. We are almost done with your video. We have 2 more screens. For section 6, evaluate functions level 1. Actually, I think this one is easier for most people. When they write this, the function g of x is defined by negative x minus 4. Figure out what g of negative 5 is. They're telling you what to use for x, and they want you to insert it and do the math. Insert negative 5 for x, do the math. Now, technically, we can write insert negative 5 for x right here. Oh, come on, need the pen. And then I see another x, so I'm going to insert, I have to put that minus sign or negative, and also x is negative, and then they want me to subtract 4. To evaluate g of negative 5, the opposite of negative 5, positive 5 minus 4, g of negative 5 is 1. I'm pretty sure in Delta Math, you just write the 1 and push submit. I think we could skip that example to save us time. They want you to insert negative 6 here. Oh, I could do mental math, but you do need to write some stuff on your paper. I didn't realize how fast this one would be. If you do this math, you get positive 18 plus 4, 22. Last example. This one is evaluate functions, but it's level 2 because of the power that you see in the function. Same idea though. They want me to put negative 10 everywhere I see an x. I can put it here, but I have to put it here, and I have to put it here to figure out what is f when I insert negative 10 everywhere I see the x. I wanted to do this example because of this symbol, the negative symbol in front, causes people trouble. And they're also asking me to square a negative number. I don't think this other arithmetic back here is going to be too hard for everyone. But people will forget that this has to be first. You have to square the number. So this is negative 10 times itself. Negative 10 times negative 10 is 100. But the demon in this problem is there is a 1 right there in front or behind that negative. So it's negative 1. This negative 10 times negative 10 is 100. That's the hard part. That's why I did it red. Then the easy part. 3 times negative 10 is negative 30. So let's make that into a subtraction. It's good to avoid 2 symbols if you can do just one, plus the 13. All right, negative 1 times 100. And then the 1 there. Negative 100 minus 30. And the final step, negative 130, add on the 13. Again, I want you to try and do mental math and then check your work on the calculator. Type that in, double check. Okay, you've seen at least one example for each kind that you're going to have on today's assignment.